I have 3 yards of printed crepe fabric here, and this is what I'll be using to recreate the style. Now for this style, between 2.5 yards to 3 yards should be enough depending on your size. I have buttons here also because the dress has buttons in front. This pattern paper is in a fold. I have the shoulder line, the chest line, the waist line, the hip line, the knee line, and the dress length line. The dress length I am working with for this pattern is 44 inches. The first thing I am marking here is the shoulder measurements divided by 2, and I am marking it on the shoulder line. The next measurement I'll be taking is the sleeve length. I'll mark that from the shoulder line. The sleeve length I am using here is 10 inches. From the shoulder point with the where I first marked, I extended it by another 10 inches for the sleeve. The next thing I'll be doing is to mark a neck depth of 1 inch for the back and 2.5 inches for the front, while I'll use a neck width of 2.5 inches and I'll connect that with a curve. I'm marking both the front and the back neckline on this pattern. Next, from the sleeve measurement I took there, I'll come down by 2 inches for the shoulder slope and I'll connect it into the neck width with a straight line. Next, from the shoulder slant there, I'll come down by 9 inches. That will be for the sleeve opening. The sleeve opening will be 9 inches and I'll connect that like you see me doing. On the waistline, I'll go in with the waist measurements divided by 4 and I'll add extra 4 inches for pleats. So after marking the waist measurement divided by 4, I added extra 4 inches and I'll connect like you see me doing. At this point, I'll separate this pattern paper from the waistline. So I'm going to trim out all the parts I don't need at the upper part because the pattern for the upper part is ready. I'm just going to cut out the part that are not needed and I'll cut the neckline using the back neckline first. I'll be using this piece to cut out both the front and the back half lengths. Moving on to the lower part now, I'll go in with the waist measurements divided by 4. At the hip line, I'll mark the hip measurements divided by 4. Whatever I marked at the hip line, I'll deduct 1 inch from it and mark it at the knee line and also at the dress length line. And I'll connect all the points together with my curved ruler. That is all for the lower part. I'll cut it out now. I am going to open the pattern paper now and extend all the lines I have on the first side to the other side, just like you see me doing. And after extending the lines, I'm going to cut through the center. This dress does not have a joining on the side. I am going to tape both sides together. I'm going to hold it together with a masking tape. I'm going to use my tape to hold both sides together so that this dress does not have a joining on the side. At this point, so that the paper can relax, I'll slash through the hip line. I'll cut one side of the hip line. Just watch what I am doing here. I cut through one side of the hip line and I'm going to tape it one after the other like this. Just make sure that they align properly and then use your masking tape to hold it together. Once I am done with that, I am going to draw slash lines on this pattern. But first, label your pattern so that you don't get confused. The part where we taped is the side and I labeled it S, and both the other two sides are the center. Center front and center back. Now I am drawing slash lines on the pattern. The slash lines, make sure that you stop the slash lines at the knee line. Don't go beyond the knee line. Cut open the slash lines but don't cut through. After cutting, I'll go ahead and spread this on the fabric. I'll be using this one to cut both the front and the back. My fabric here is folded into two so that I can cut both the front and the back together. Spread as much as your fabric can take. I added ½ inch allowance all around the pattern. The only part I added 1 inch is at the bottom. The other part around the pattern I added ½ inch allowance. In between the slash lines, in between the papers where we slashed, I have about 1.5 inches in between each of the paper. The only part that is more than 1.5 inches is around the hip line where we first slashed, and I have about 2.5 inches in between that part. So spread as much as your fabric can take, and after that I am cutting it out. Here I am notching the part I am going to pleat. If you do it this way, it will make it easy for you when you're about to pleat. You're just going to pleat the parts you notched. So notch all the points so that by the time you want to pleat, you're just going to pleat on the part you notched. I'll take out all the pins now so that we can see what we have. The first thing I'm going to do is to join the side together with ½ inch all the way from the top to the bottom. I am done joining here, and this is what we have. The next thing is to start making the pleats on both sides. Like I explained earlier, I am just going to follow the point I notched to pleat. The only thing is that make sure that the way you are pleating, your pleat is facing up. Once I am done with this side, I am going to repeat the same process on the other side, and after pleating both sides, I'll run a stitch on it. I am done pleating both sides here, and this is what we have. I went ahead to press all the pleats, so make sure to press once you are done pleating. I have transferred the back pattern to fabric. I added ½ inch allowance all around the pattern. I'll take out the pattern now so that we can use the same one to cut out the front. This is what we have for the back. The upper part of the back does not have any joining. I'm going to set it aside now and bring in the pattern and cut out the neckline, the front neckline on this pattern. After cutting, I'm going to transfer it to fabric. I added ½ inch allowance all around the pattern. There is going to be a joining at the center front, so I added ½ inch allowance to the center front also. I'm taking out all the pins here and I will take out the pattern. The next step is to join both the front and the back piece together along the shoulder. I am placing the front part on the back. Make sure that the right side is facing each other and I will take it to the sewing machine and stitch along the shoulder with 1/2 inch. I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to join it together with 1/2 inch. This is after I was done joining the shoulder together, and the next step is to work on the sleeve. I am going to measure what I have around the sleeve opening, and this is that measurement I used to cut out this piece of fabric. It is folded into 2 and I have about 2 inches there. I'm going to place the right side of this piece on the wrong side of the sleeve opening, and I will take it to the sewing machine and stitch with 0.5 inch. After stitching, I made a top stitch on the wrong side of the sleeve, and I am going to flip it to the right side like this. After running that stitch, flip it to the right side like you see me doing, and use your pin to hold it down. You are going to repeat the same process for the other sleeve. Now I will take it to the sewing machine and join the sides together with 1/2 inch. Remember, we added extra 4 inches for pleats when we were drafting the pattern. So now go ahead and make pleats along the waistline for both the front and the back. I have made my own pleats here, and the next step is to join the upper parts to the lower parts. This is the skirt part. I am going to place the upper part on it, right side facing each other, pin it together and go ahead and join with 0.5 inch. After joining the upper part to the lower part, the next thing is to work on the button placket in front. So take that measurement from the neckline all the way to the hem of the dress. Whatever you have is what you are going to use to cut out the length of this piece. For the width I have there is about 3 inches, and I folded 1/2 inch inwards on both sides. I added interfacing to this piece to give it a bit of stability. You are going to cut out 2 pieces for this button placket, one for the part that will have the buttonhole and the other one for the part where you are going to fix your button. Now to fix it to the dress, you are going to fix the right side of the button placket to the wrong side of the dress. Just the way you see me doing mine, fix the right side of the button placket to the wrong side of the dress. And after stitching all the way from the top to the bottom, you are going to flip it to the right side and make a top stitch. This is what it is going to look like by the time you are making a top stitch. Just start from the wrong side, then flip it to the right side and make a top stitch on it. Repeat the same process for the other side also. This is after I was done fixing the button placket on both sides. This is what we have. Now the next thing is to work on the collar. I am going to measure around the neckline, and whatever I get is what I am going to use to cut out the collar. I have my collar stay on the table and it is folded into 2. The measurement I got when I measured around the neckline is 16.5. I am going to divide that into 2, which is 8.25, and I will mark that on this collar stay. I will get the midpoint from that point where I marked. I will get the midpoint and make a mark there. At the point where I mark the 8.25, I'll go up by 1 inch, and I will connect from the midpoint to that point I marked 1 inch at the top. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to mark the height of the collar stand, which is 1 inch. Mark it like you see me doing, and I am going to connect with my ruler. The next thing is to make a curve at the tip of the collar stand. Just curve it inwards like you see me doing. I'll connect with a straight line from that point to the other side. After connecting that, I am going to mark 1 inch inwards like you see me doing. And from that point, I am going to mark 2.5 inches upward and go out by about 0.25 and I'll connect slantly like that. At the other side, I'll go up by 1/2 inch, and from that 1/2 inch mark, I am going to mark 2 inches upward, and I'll connect the both points to the other side. The collar is ready at this point, and I'm just going to cut it out. Open it up like this, and you're going to press these 2 pieces for the collar on your fabric. You're going to use your iron to press it on the fabric. I have prepared the 2 collar pieces. Now the next step is to fix in the upper part of the collar in between the 2 pieces for the collar stand. Get the midpoint of both the collar piece and the collar stand. Put the upper part of the collar in between the 2 pieces for the collar stand. Pin it together like you see me doing, and I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch round. Follow the part where I'm using the pen to mark on. Follow that part and stitch all the way around the collar stand. I am done stitching here. After stitching, go ahead and press the collar flat. Press it flat and you can make a top stitch on the upper part. This part I am showing you on the collar. I am going to fix the collar on the dress now. First, I am going to notch the center back, and after notching the center back, I am going to fix the center of the collar to the center back. Pin the center back first to the collar and take it all the way to the front and back to the other side of the front. Pin it together, the right side of the collar facing the right side of the dress. Once I'm done pinning, I will take it to the sewing machine and stitch with 1/2 inch. After stitching that part on the collar, the next thing is to cover the collar like you see me doing. Use your pin to hold it down, and you're going to make a top stitch on the collar to close it. The collar is all fixed now. Make sure to press your collar once you are done fixing it. The dress is almost done now. What we have left on the dress is the button and the buttonhole. I also made a detachable belt for this dress. It is optional. If you don't want a belt, you can decide not to make a belt for it. For the bottom part of this dress, I hemmed it with 1/2 inch. So you're going to fix your button on the left side of the dress, while your buttonhole will be on the right side. Your buttons will be on the left side, and you can do a space of 2 inches in between each of the buttons. Depending on what you want, you can do a space of 2 inches or 2.5 inches in between each of the buttons, and that will be all on this dress. Thank you guys for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, leave a comment, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Please turn on your notification bell so you'll get notified anytime I upload a new video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.